Hey again guys, Herschel Fruin here, High School Top 200. Just back with another video for you all. First off, I want to give it up to Vinny from Fine Line Barbers, giving the boys game day fades on Fridays 2 to 6. So if you're in Hamilton, go to Vinny's shop in Alexander Street 2 to 6. That's set aside for first 15 players. Sit down in the chair, say High School Top 200, get the discount. And if you're on the top 60, top 100, or top 200, take in your ID, show them on the list, show them your ID, and get another discount. Okay, Fine Line Barbers, check it out on Facebook as well. I want to talk about, and it's been discussed throughout the media as well, and so I thought I might as well just give my opinion. And I've been asked, like in messages, what I think about the situation, or what I think about the topic. The topic between Islander players and white players, and I have a different perspective only because I've watched so much younger players who are Islanders and who are white players and Islander players, and kind of followed them throughout the years, and then seen them go into under 19s, under 20s, and then obviously we all see the professionals. But for me, and in general, everybody sees, and I think this is why they have weight restrictions on younger games or younger age groups and things like that, because because Islander kids are so big, so young, a lot of the white players get hurt, and parents don't want to see that, obviously, because you want your son to be protected, and you don't want a big Islander kid running at your son who's only 7, but he's a small 7, and you got a 7 who's an Islander who's a big 7. So like there's things like that for me, and the way that I think, and this is what I have seen myself, is that for Islander players, physically, you develop faster. I mean, I was in the 3rd form, which is year 9, at school, and I was already 6 foot, and I just come back from the islands. We just came back from Samoa, and so I was big. So I was like, I think I was 6 foot and about 90 kgs or something like that. And so I can understand I had a couple little white mates at school that were a year older than me, because I was a year ahead, and they were a year older than me. But they were really small, and I was thinking, well, of course, a mum and a father wouldn't want me running at the 6 foot Islander running at their son who's older but he's smaller. So like I can understand that, and understand why people will have that problem. So I can understand that side of it. And the big difference to me is that even though you have Islanders who are bigger at a younger age and they develop more, for me, and I experienced myself, because I can admit this myself, because I was so big as a prop, my scrumming technique was terrible, because I relied on how big I was and how small the other prop was, and I just leaned on him, and he couldn't take my weight, and that's how I won scrums. And so like my technique was really poor, but at the same time I was winning at high school. And that's the thing with most Islander kids, and I feel their mindset was the same mindset when I was at high school, was that us Islanders, because we're so physical and we're so big and physically developed already, and we're going against kids who are white kids who aren't so developed or haven't actually reached their peak, we're dominating them in high school. And here's what the catch is that Islanders get lazy, and they rely on the fact, and they rely on what they already have, which is the size, strength, and power over the white kids. Then the white kids actually think about it, and they say, well, if I can't beat them this way, which is the physical way, I got to learn a lot more technique. Now this is where it starts switching over, is that, and where Islanders fall and white players get ahead, is that white players say, okay, I can't take him physically, I have to learn my technique better. And this is where the white kids in Auckland actually get a bigger advantage, because they have to play against these kids every week. So the white players in Auckland have this advantage where I'm going to tackle a brown guy every single Saturday. I can't get away from that. So I've got to learn my technique, get it down. Then by the time, 15, 16, 17, 18, they perfect it. Once 19, 20 hits, that white person or that white player develops their body, and they are ahead of the Islander guys. Because the Islanders only rely on what they're already doing, because every Saturday they're beating it, they really don't care. They're like, well, I'm winning every Saturday and I'm dominating every Saturday. I've been picked for these rep teams. It's like, why should I learn technique? Or sometimes the coaches don't teach them technique because they're like, we're already set in this position. As soon as this year gets out, we're going to be dominating. We'll be at the top of the table. We'll be number 2, 3, 1 in the rankings, and we're looking at a top 4. But then that player, after he leaves, he's going to be beat out by a white guy who's learnt his technique, defined it, understands his situation. Then the body grows into that technique, and then he's a better player. And so sometimes you get the Islanders who realize that they have this advantage, and then they think, okay, now that I have this advantage, I still need to get better. Now the mindset of still need to get better means technique. For me, and a guy that I look at in that way is TJ Fayani, who his technique was incredible. Like the way that he passed the ball, his directional passing both ways, his footwork, in terms of footwork not just for himself but footwork for somebody else, was always flawless. And he had a kicking game already, and like things like that. That's what Islanders should be thinking about. Like TJ Fayani, is that like Fayani just like knew how to do everything, and he had the physical capabilities. So playing against a white guy, he would play up in their face, real aggressive, and that. But then when it came to an Islander, he would show that aggression and then rely on his technique and abilities after that. So for me, an Islander needs to look at himself and say, okay, I've already got the physical attributes right now. I need to take care of the 1920s. So the Islander needs to switch on real fast and say, I need to learn some technique. I need to make sure that when I blow out, I'm not blowing out with just aggression or like just pure strength. I need the pure strength and actually cleaning out the guys out of the rucks. I've been to trainings of Super 15, Super Rugby trainings, and they still do that. They still work on technique at the fundamental level of how to do things. They still work on it, and that's the reason why they're so good. It's still they still go back to the bottom, and they say, this is how we need to do it, and this is how we need to keep doing it and keep working on it, so that stuff comes naturally. Islanders need to work on that. White players, I think, just need to, I feel like, don't need to give up so easy just because you don't already have the physical capabilities. I love rugby, and I wish everybody would just stay in rugby. That's just the way that I am, and so like for me, and this racial barriers, is like, there's give and take in both of it, and for me, when it comes down to it, it's just like who works the hardest. I've heard a saying a lot where it's like the saying kind of goes like, talent beats hard work until talent stops working hard, and that's basically what it is. You may have the talent, and a guy that works hard, that beats it. Talent beats working hard until that guy who's talented stops working hard. Then the working hard guy gets ahead. So as long as you keep working hard, things will fall into place. Dedicate yourself. Mayweather always says hard work, dedication always works out. Alright, that's my video. Take care of yourselves. Keep working hard, boys. And remember, jump on all the social medias that I have on Snapchat, HS2 Top 200 on my Snapchat, at High School Top 200 on Twitter, on Instagram, the real Top 200 on Instagram, and then High School Top 200 on Facebook. And yeah, make sure you keep in touch. All the different things will be coming out on different social media, so jump on all of them, keep a track of what's going on, and I'll see you guys on a Saturday, hopefully. Alright, peace.